Good afternoon, Facebook friends and family. Here I am, Chef Delish, talking to you about a great subject today. I want to talk a little bit about the other white meat. What are we talking about? Yes, Porky Pig. We're talking about the great almighty swine, the pig. Do you know that pig dates back to at least 5,000 years ago? It is one of the most ancient animals existing today. And I'll tell you one thing, there's nothing better than a great tasting pork chop, a tenderloin, a sausage. I'll tell you one thing about the pork. It is the most versatile animal to cook with, actually, or cook for or about, actually. And you know what? I just love cooking with pork. You know, you have the great cuts of the pork tenderloin, the pork chop, which is the whole loin. You have the shoulder, which is the pork butt. You have the leg. You know, and barbecue cooking, we have the pork shoulder that we use a lot for pulled pork. But one of the most interesting things about the pork shoulder, or the Boston butt, or the pork shoulders, they call it, is that the ratio of fat to meat is a 50-50 ratio. That's why that shoulder in particular is almost perfect in all its ways. You know, we use it a lot for sausage cookery because it has that great fat, and fat is where the flavor is at. You know, we cook with it in so many different ways, from scallopinis to chops, to double chops, to roasting a whole loin, or just even the whole leg, as in Cuba or in Spanish cooking, we call it the pernil, which is the lechon. But lechon is from the whole animal, actually, but the pernil, because it has so much delicious meat to it. You know, it's the same thing. You got to understand that all animals have the same muscle structure in their leg, whether it's a cow, chicken, lamb. They all have the 7 muscle structures, from the top round, bottom round, the heel, part of the tenderloin, the knuckle, and the shank. And so even if you get a piece of venison, the back leg, the hind legs, are going to be the same exact cut. But when you go to the front of the animal, it's very different, okay? So remember, always when you're purchasing pork, you want to get that light pink flavor to it, or light pink color, actually, I'm sorry. Light pink color to it. No off flavors, definitely no slime in it, okay? Make sure that it's not too bloody, the package, and it has a good odor to it, okay? It should be a fresh, meaty aroma, no kind of offset or whatever, all right? And always when you do it, I like to wash my pork also when I get it or bring it at home before I season it. So you can wash it, maybe a little salt on it, give it a nice salt rub like we were talking about chicken, what I do with my poultry, okay? And treat it like it's chicken. It's a very, very high in bacteria also. But the chemists, the scientists, have gotten it so good now that they actually say that they have removed the trichinosis from the animal, so we're able to eat pork medium rare these days at a temperature around 150. I'll tell you what, I'm not too crazy about doing that regardless of what they did to the animal. There's still a nature behind the beast. And I'll tell you, I still like to cook my pork to a well-done stage. I like to go over that 165 mark. If you ask me, it's a lot more healthier, and you're killing a lot more bacteria. But remember, anytime you cook it, try not to cook it too long, because you don't want to overcook it either. It'll tend to dry out. You know, even with sausage, if you overcook sausage, it'll dry out. Anything you overcook. You know, cook it well done, nice temperatures, and it also depends on what you're doing. Is there a ratio per timing per pound? Well, they say the average cooking is 20 minutes per pound on roast beef, things of that nature. But the best way to really judge it is, you can use that as a guideline, but buy yourself one of those probe thermometers that you can put inside the meat. Make sure you get into the middle, the center of the cut that you're using, and go over the 165 or even come close to it. And remember, always when you pull it out of the oven or whatever you're doing, let it sit for a little bit before you cut it. We call this the carry-over cooking, which is considered a 10% more cooking as it comes out. It's a carry-over time and period. Plus, you want to do that helps regenerate all the juices into the flesh, into the meat that you're cooking, and it makes it that more juicy, because inside all the cells, the juices are boiling up, moving around and steaming, and when you let it set, they calm down and they go back into the cells, okay, regenerate itself back into the cells and holds that moisture. And then you slice your meat, whether it's turkey, beef, anything that comes off the heat, you should let it set for a little bit. Fish, not so much, because you're going to cook fish 90% anyway. You're not going to cook fish to a well-done state because you'll dry it out. Always remember to use good seasonings, good product, and check the dates in supermarkets when you buy this stuff. You know, pork is relatively still affordable, but be very careful. I've seen it in some places, $4.99 a pound, $5.20 a pound, and very expensive, But if you stick, like I said, the less you have to ask the butcher to put a knife to it or cut it up, treat it like beef. The more they have to put a knife to it, the more it's going to cost you. Try to get it on sale. Always look for that nice light pink flesh. That's what you're going to do. Mostly with the shoulder cuts, you're going to find a more darker flesh. Make sure the flesh is not too purpley, all right? You want to have a nice dark brownish to medium color, earth tony, all right? And a good, nice, dry smell. Feel the flesh. Make sure there's no slime on it, okay? And that will give you a great tasting pork cutlet, chop, or roast, or whatever you're making. I love to cook particularly with whole roast of pork. Get the whole boneless or the center cut loin of pork. You can get that at a supermarket or at your restaurant depots or at a Costco, BJ's, those type of places. Buy the whole loin, and what you can do is you can cut it in cutlets, saute them. You can bread them up like a Milanese or any way you want. But I love that roasted flavor. I love to season with oregano, garlic, extra virgin olive oil, the paprika I love on it. But like again, buy good quality spices. Don't chintz on spices. Use the best that you can get out there. Season and have fun with it. That's the most important thing. So that's my tip for today with pork. And I'll see you at the stove, or I'll see you on Facebook or anywhere you want. You can always drop me a line at thomasvaldez.com or Tommy Valdez with an S at yahoo.com for more tips or any cooking advice or anything you need to know about pork or any other subject of the matter. Drop me an email and we can talk about different subjects or whatever you want. Soups, stews, anything that has food related. All right? So have fun cooking. Watch your products. And remember one thing, folks. Never trust a skinny chef. I'll see you tomorrow with another great tip here on Cooking with Chef Delish. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day and have fun in the kitchen.